Welcome back! Today we're making a delicious halal breakfast strata. First things first, we're going to prepare around 4.5 cups of bread cubes for this. Normally, I'd say any kind of bread works here, but I've found that a really dense whole wheat bread works best. It absorbs enough of the egg later to be softened, but it doesn't turn to mush once the strata is fully cooked. I'm using ancient seed bread because it sounded a little bit different and kind of fancy, but anything that you can see the seeds and the slices will work here. Once those are all cut up in about 1-inch cubes, we'll lay them out on a pan overnight. Alternatively, you can lay them under a fan for a couple hours. Just make sure you shake them up once in a while so the cubes get fully dried out. Now we're going to get to the meat of the matter. I'm going to use Midamar's Halal Applewood Smoked Turkey Breakfast Strips, aka our halal turkey bacon. We hardwood smoke our turkey bacon the same way we do with our hickory smoked breakfast beef, albeit with an applewood instead of a hickory. This gives our turkey bacon a really delicious smoky flavor that gets imparted into the whole casserole. If you'd like to try this for yourself, head to midamarhalal.com or use the link in the description. While you're there, use code YTSHIP for free shipping on one order. Once 2 full packages are chopped into bite-sized pieces, we'll put those in a mixing bowl and set them aside. Next up is our veggies. We're going to prepare 3 medium zucchinis, 2 small green peppers, and about 1.5 large sweet onions. These are also known as Vidalia onions. We're going to start with the zucchinis. Go ahead and chop off either end of those. Then we'll cut them in half so we have a nice flat edge. Cut those in half one more time, then we'll dice it into roughly 1/2-inch pieces. These nice large pieces are going to be great in our strata because they'll be softened but still give us a nice bite. Next up is our green bell peppers. There is all kinds of ways to prep these, but I like to chop off large chunks of flesh, remove the ribs, then chop them into thick strips before finally chopping them into bite-sized pieces. All these veggies are going to cook at the same time, so we'll toss those peppers in with the zucchini. Finally, we're going to dice both these onions. We'll chop that up with the good old onion dicing method. Start by chopping it in half so we got a good flat edge. Place some horizontal cuts, then we'll place some vertical cuts, and we'll rotate the onion and place some more vertical cuts. These pieces won't all be the same size, but the cook time will be just about the same, so there's really no issue there. Toss those in with the other veggies, then set them all aside. Next, we'll prep 4 cups of mushrooms by slicing off the stems, so again, we have a flat edge. Then we're going to cut those mushrooms into about a 1/4-inch slice. As you can see, I had way too many mushrooms, so when you buy your mushies, probably 1 big container will be plenty. Set those aside and then we'll start up on the cooking. And as you can see, I didn't measure this exactly, however I'd say I used around 3 tablespoons of peanut oil or whatever neutral flavored oil you prefer. Get your oil hot and ready. You'll know your oil is ready to cook once it's shimmering and moves like water. First in the pot is the mushrooms. Initially, I thought I'd brown these on their own, but once they got in the pot, I was worried I wouldn't have enough room for everything, so we're just gonna toss in everything. And this worked out a lot better anyway. The mushrooms would be overcooked had I browned them first, so I recommend doing this instead. You'll cook this for around 20 to 30 minutes over medium heat, mixing every minute or so. This will help to make sure that the stuff at the bottom doesn't burn. We're not really looking to cook all these veggies all the way through, we're really just trying to soften them and have them release some of the liquid. As you can see, the zucchini will get a really nice green hue going, and that's a good indication that the veggies are cooked. Turn your heat off and remove the mixture to a bowl, making sure to drain the liquid. Don't throw that out though. This is a concentrated veggie broth that's got an incredible umami from the mushrooms, a little sweetness from the onions, and a big punch of smoky flavor from our turkey bacon. I actually used this broth to make some bacon soup later that week, and it was awesome. Pour your dried bread and all the crumbs into a mixing bowl. Then we'll lay the veggie mixture on the same big old pan, and then we'll pat that until it's a little bit more dry. Mix it up, pat it dry again, and if you want it extra dry, you can let it sit out under a fan, but this isn't really necessary. So while that relaxes, we're gonna go prep the eggies. To do that, we're gonna take a big old mixing bowl, preferably with a spout, and wrap a damp dish rag around it. This will help make sure our bowl doesn't fling all over the place while we're whisking. Next, we're going to add in 2 8-ounce blocks of softened cream cheese along with 1/2 cup of half and half. Whisk that up until it's smooth. Now, you're probably going to have some small clumps of cream cheese here and there, but that's okay. It'll all get mixed together later. Now we're going to crack in a dozen extra large eggs and whisk that until smooth. Now in our comically oversized mixing vessel, we'll pour in our mostly dried veggie mixture, our eggy mixture, 3 large cloves of freshly diced garlic, 12 ounces of freshly shredded cheddar cheese, the dried bread, 1 tablespoon of coarse salt, and 1 tablespoon of freshly cracked black pepper. Give that a good mixin', make sure all the ingredients are combined nicely, then we'll scoop this out into a large baking dish. Make sure you have around 1 inch from the top of the baking dish available because our strata is going to puff up a little bit while it cooks. Obviously, this recipe is going to make a ton of this strata, so it's great for large get-togethers. If you want to make this for a family of 4, I'd suggest cutting the ingredient amounts in half. You'll still have some extra, but just enough for leftovers. Now we'll bake this uncovered at 350 degrees for 1 hour or until a knife inserted in the middle comes out clean. And that's it. I served this up with some fresh fruit and the whole office loved it. Believe it or not, this was gone by lunchtime the next day. I hope you liked this one as much as we did, and we'll see you next week with another delicious halal recipe.